Education, literacy in a lifelong learning perspective in many countries all over the world are facing big challenges because they have to respond to social issues, and even they mirror the social economic structure in society that is increasingly complex and challenging. The issue of integrating all people in society, offering educational opportunities to all adults who do not have adequate skills, qualifications or competences at all different levels, from basic and to the higher, is a challenge that most governments are going to meet with different means. Some countries are considering this as financial issues. Other countries think this is a question of integrating adult education into the overall educational policies and monitoring the policies in the country. Others think that we need now also to relate the policies to other sectors in the education system, like vocational education and training, like human resource development, like higher education, and so on. So the challenge today in most countries is in fact still to reach 100% literacy in all regions, in spite of having countries with different languages, different cultures, different peoples inside of the borders, and also of meeting the demands of basic skills for all. In fact, the agenda of education for all is still relevant, even in very developed countries, as big parts of the population still can be considered to be functional illiterates. Another challenge is that we today have a very broad concept of literacy, which involves, in addition to reading, writing and numeracy, also social skills, capacity to understand, and to be able to live and work in a more modern, complex society. If I look at the Mexican society, I can see here also challenges that in relation to capacity building, to enabling all people in the Mexican society to deal with the complex social structure and framework that is existing in the modern Mexican society. Education, adult education, is only one means of meeting the demands today. Education and adult education cannot answer all needs. There are other policies in relation to employment, to security, to environmental issues that also needs to be in place. Policies in general for security, for securing the national socio-economic development cannot, of course, replace the need for education, and the need for education cannot replace the other policies. But I would still say that adult education is still one of the very important policies that most governments in the world are putting in place in order to respond to these challenges. One priority is to monitor the follow-up of the Confintea 6 Belém framework for action that was decided by governments in Belém in Brazil 2009, during the UNESCO World Conference on Adult Education. And UIL has been given the mandate on behalf of UNESCO to monitor and in cooperation with all member states, the process of putting into practice, implementing the decisions taken at that moment. This is going to be a top priority for the next 10 years till we will have the next UNESCO World Conference on Adult Education. Another profile will be to focus on research evidence for giving advice in the field of lifelong learning policy development to governments. We need to strengthen data production and data collection, statistics to create a better knowledge base, to cooperate with existing research networks with other universities in order to pull on all resources so that we together can give the best possible advice to member states. The third priority will be to give good advice to all regions in the world. Yes, UIL has, in my view, 2 weak links today with Latin America and with the Arab states, and we are trying to develop stronger links with both of these 2 regions. And one of the very big projects I could imagine that could be of relevance to the whole of the Latin American Caribbean region would be to develop capacity building educational programs for civil servants or for teachers, for professionals from universities that could strengthen the professionalization of lifelong teachers, adult educators. And I would be very happy to develop such a capacity building program together with some of the organizations here in Latin America, and notably also with Profal in Mexico. I think that we can develop this big project in capacity building together and also in cooperation with the Mexico UNESCO office, and also, as you intend not to only have it in Mexico but in other Latin American and Caribbean countries, to develop it together with the regional bureau of UNESCO in Santiago de Chile. And I'm quite confident that together, and also with involving other organizations, we could maybe have some impact on the development of a higher qualification structure for lifelong learning professionals in this region.